Hey witches, I have insomnia, of course. It is about 4:30 in the morning. So of course my body automatically woke up at 3, as it always does, and I can't go back to sleep. So I thought I would do a little video about how to raise energy for spell work. It's one of the most difficult things to do, especially when you're first beginning, because energy can be confusing. So I thought I would give you a few tips. I found this website, The Blade and the Cauldron. It is really good, and it's got an entire article on it, and I will link the title of the article, but the entire article in the description so that you can go back and refer to it, because I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's really long. So it's talking about how the article is tips for it, explains what energy is. Of course, if you are a witch, you're aware of energy. Sorry, I had to take a sip of my drink. But, so you can read through that, but basically energy is everywhere. You can create it, you can harness it, whatever you're going to do with it, that's up to you. But it does talk about how it's important to rub your hands together during spell work, and to raise energy you should feel a tingle in your hands. You'll know when you've done it enough. But I'll like I said, I'll link this so that you can go back and read that part. But this talks about where energy can come from. Like I said, it could be your energy or outside energy that you harness, whether you create it from you or you harness it from the outside. Either way, it's okay. And I like how she talks about the energy outside you can be broken down further into energy from plants, animals, spirits, places, and other people. Everything, whether it's dead or alive, or it's an inanimate object, can have energy. And that's because they absorb energy from living things around us. So, and it even says which is where one theory of hauntings comes from. So it says when you do spell work and use stones or herbs, you're borrowing pieces of that object's energies. So it's true also if you call in the elements. If you have a good relationship with the deity, you're pulling energy from there. And it talks about timing of the spell. I'll link my video below about planetary hours and days. Also, you need to make sure that the moon is in the proper cycle. It is best to do spells for manifestation during the waxing moon, of course, or the full moon. You can do anything on the full moon, but it's best to do spells that are banishing, getting rid of something that does not serve you. You want to do that during the waning moon. Now, if you're doing a protection spell, fuck the moon phase, okay? Don't worry about the moon phase. Do your protection spell whenever. If you're just renewing protection, do it on the full moon. You can even do it on the dark moon, but it's best to do that on the full moon. It packs the biggest punch, and I love to do protection spells on the full moon. That's normally when I do them, unless I just feel ick, or I know that, somebody's giving me bad vibes, and I can't just shake those vibes by doing smoking myself out with sage, and then getting in a shower and putting salt all over me, doing a salt scrub shower or a salt bath, and I still feel yuck. I'll do some protection working on myself, and I don't worry about the moon phase. So anyway, I will not read all of this, but it's really good. Talks there about the magical hangover, which is okay if you get them. If you do get a magical hangover, go outside, ground yourself, and then when you come in, have a little snack. Have something with some sugar. You can do a witchy tea, whatever you need to do to get yourself back to normal. And it's okay. You're going to get a magical hangover from now and then, but it's okay. Doesn't mean you're a bad witch. Just means you haven't properly learned how to harness the energy and use the energy in the correct amounts. Maybe you're raising too much energy, and hey, it's better to raise too much than not enough, right? So just remember that. So this talks about how and when should you raise power. This part's really important. So it says that you would raise power after you have cast a circle, called in whoever you're going to call in, gotten all your supplies. It says some raise power before getting everything in one spot, but I agree with her that she says that it's not really a good idea, because then you're kind of wasting that power, because then you're going to go gather everything and cast your circle, and that energy is going to deplete just because you've got too much going on. Get everything done, get all your shit together, and then start raising your energy, because that energy is going to be really, really important in your spell or your ritual, because if you don't have that energy, what are you going to do? You need that energy. That's part of the spell. So be careful. Do it the right way. Do it after you've got everything together. If you're going to cast a circle, you may not always cast a circle. Most of the time, now, I used to always cast a circle. Now I don't always feel the need. I may be standing at my stove doing a working, because I have created a little magical space in my kitchen, because I can't always be in my magical room upstairs, because it's right across the hall from my daughter's room, and I don't want to wake her up by burning a bunch of shit in my cauldron at 4 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning and wake her up. So I've made myself a little magical space down here. It happens to be on my stove. It doesn't matter. I'll stand there and do what I need to do, and a lot of times I don't cast a circle. I may call in one element or two elements, whatever I'm working with the most, or whatever deity I'm but whatever deity I'm working with for the spell, or even just the universal source of all energy. I may call 10 things in, just whatever, but I will do a little salt circle around, my candle and my crystals, and I always have some form of water, whether I'm just using it to hydrate the spirits during the spell, or water to just represent that element. Usually it's for both. And then I always have a candle, I always have incense, and I always have crystals. I just have those things. I believe in stacking magic and layering magic, and that's how you do it. Bring things in, call in whoever you feel will be best to work with on that particular working, and go for it. Anyway, I'll quit rambling and get back to raising energy. But this stuff is important. So this talks about, she says that, but I find that it is harder to keep the power from dispersing doing this way. Okay, she's talking still about that. She says others raise the power after whatever they're going to do, whatever they're going to use to anchor the spell has been constructed, such as the poppet, the charm, the pouch, or the jar. She likes to charge each ingredient as she adds it. That's definitely something you should do. She says, I don't do it that way unless I'm in a ritual led by someone else. But we're talking about solitary right now. So definitely, if you're creating a spell jar, whatever, a charm, a charm bag, a mojo bag, whatever you're going to create, a pouch, You definitely need to, cleanse each item, consecrate each item, and charge each item for that intent. Otherwise, the objects you are adding have no clue what they're supposed to do. Okay? Yes, five-finger grass is wonderful for money magic, but you can also use it for love magic. It has 5 tiers. It's good for 5 things. So how does it know what you want it to do? Tell it. Cup it in your hands. You've seen me do this in videos. Cup it in your hands, both hands. Maybe even give it some witch's breath and whisper to it. Or tell it out loud. I consecrate this as a magical tool, and I charge this 5-finger grass with the intention of drawing money into my life. Say it that way. Let the ingredient know its purpose. And I talked about that a lot in my crystal video, and I've talked about it in dozens of other videos because it's so important that we do that. You need to imbue each object with that magic and with that intention every single time. And it does get monotonous, even especially if you're doing 10 ingredients in a jar, or even when you're making an oil, you're using 13 things. Yeah, you need to consecrate each item. You need to charge each item, and you need to cleanse everything. So it can take up to an hour to create some of these things, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Just throwing a bunch of shit in a bag, it's not going to do anything. But if you layer your magic, you charge everything correctly, then you're creating a magical tool to serve you, to serve your highest self. And that is the purpose of what you're doing in the first place. So don't forget that. Don't forget that. Don't forget to do that. Anyway, she has got these different things here where she says she has included a list below with ways to raise power and tips. This is the nitty-gritty of what we are talking about right now. So she's got here, and she says it's considered to be the sound of the universe and creation. So you can use that. You want to make sure that you're doing your meditative breathing. And then she says that you can do that breathing and then breathe out the sound of until all breath has been expelled, still holding that energy inside. You should repeat this 3 times. By the end, your body should feel like it is full of energy and is full to bursting with energy. So if that doesn't work for you, try it again. You just have to focus. Focus, focus, focus. Raising energy is about focus, especially if that energy is coming from within you. You have to figure out how to get it from inside of you to outside of you. And let's look at some more ways you can do that. So drumming or clapping, I love to do this. I have a little tambourine that I use a lot of times, and I just love it. It makes me feel so magical and hippie-like, but it's fun, and I'm raising energy. So drumming or clapping, take a drum rattle or use your hands to begin clapping, making noise. She says she usually closes her eyes. You should definitely close your eyes when you're raising energy because it allows you to you don't have that distraction of what you're seeing. You focus on what you're feeling on the inside. So it says, feel the energy you want to use around you with every beat of the drum or clap of your hands. Bring that energy inside you. You should notice that the energy builds. You are clapping, drumming faster. As the energy builds, you are clapping and drumming faster. So as the energy is growing, you're moving faster. As a note, you should not use pre-recorded drumming for this. Of course not, guys. Use your own body and your own self to do this stuff. You may listen to rhythmic drumming during a meditation or something, if that helps you keep in that meditative state. But when you're raising energy, don't do that. Music. I do this all the time. If you've heard me talk about this in videos, I'm sure you have. I will use a song that ties to whatever spell I'm doing. And the really cool thing about using music is when you are doing the spell, you play the music. And then even after the spell, when you hear the music, you're kind of even adding more energy to that spell. And of course, we're not supposed to dwell on our spell work and think about it all the time, because that takes energy from the spell. But if the song that you use for the spell happens to come on the radio, it's perfectly fine for you to listen to that music and, drum to it, clap to it, sing along with it, dance to it, whatever you want to do. Which you're driving, you better be careful how into it you get, because you don't have a wreck. But and it's perfectly okay to play the song. I did a weather spell for my daughter's birthday last year, and it was supposed to rain that day, and we had planned it at the park. And I said, no way, we're going to let this rain come. It's just not coming any other time. Rain, you are welcome. We will run around and dance in the rain, my daughter and I will. But the other people coming to the party are not like us, so they would not want to do that. So I wanted to keep the rain away. So I did a really big ritual, and I also did a spell, but I wanted to make sure that this rain would not touch us on that day. And every weather report said that it was 100% chance of rain all day long. And I already had people coming, had everything ready. There was no way we could change it. So I did the spell, did the rituals, and I used the song No Rain by Blind Melon. And I know that the song by Blind Melon, No Rain, has nothing to do with actual rain. The lyrics go extremely deep, because he was a deep person, and I know that. But the words, no rain, that was enough for me to use it. So we listened to that song all the way to the party, and I had a little bag of all the spell remains. I had some citrine. I put rose quartz in there to symbolize the love I had for my daughter, But I had rose quartz, citrine, clear quartz, carnelian, pyrite, some other red stones, and just red stones, orange stones, everything I could find. I stuck in this bag, this little satchel, a sachet bag, and we called it the Bag of Sunshine. And I had fresh flowers. I had daisies, which is her birth flower. I had sunflower petals. I had calendula, of course, dandelions, of course, and dandelion puffs, and some Crown of Success oil, some oil that I had made, purpose oil that I called sun oil. It had some flowers and some olive oil, and I charged it in the sunlight for 3 days. And then I used that oil for the spell and every ritual piece that we did, or I did. But we sang that song all the way to the park. But anyway, enough about music. But I get excited about that spell, guys, because it didn't rain a damn drop. And the people at the party were like, yep, it's going to start raining any minute. We better hurry up and do this and that. I said, guys, I just want to let you know that it's not going to rain, okay? So just chill. You don't need to worry about that. I guarantee you, I give you my word that it will not rain. And my sister knows that I'm a witch. My mother knows. My grandmother knows that I'm a witch. My mother knew that I used to be a witch, but she thought that I had became safe because I lied to her and told her that for her peace of mind, because she just could not accept it. She was concerned I was going to hell. But now she has passed, and now she sees that there's nothing wrong with being a witch, because she is on the other side and realizes that. So, only good thing about her dying. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. But, at the party, my sister just looked at me like, okay, I know what she's talking about. And my grandmother's like, okay, she must have done something. So they were like, okay. They went along with it. And the other people just thought, okay, she really has a lot of faith. So, and I do have a lot of faith. They just didn't know what I had a lot of faith in. But I had the bag of sunshine in my purse, and we had it with us the whole time, and it didn't rain at all. It started to rain. I had put on the paper that it would not rain from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Guys, I shit you not, when we started to pack up, it was around 3:05. The bottom fell out. It started pouring rain on us as we were packing, and I just stood in the rain and looked up to the sky and just smiled so big, and the party guests looked at me like I was fucking crazy, the ones that were left, but my sister just shook her head. It was funny. So yeah, you can use music, but when you use music to raise energy, guys, dance to the music, feel the music, it says here, it needs to be something that gets your blood going, like good workout music. It doesn't have to be, specific type of music. I disagree with her a little bit there. You can use anything that elicits emotions from you, because you're raising the energy. So if it's a slow song that pumps you up more than something that's got a lot of beats, use that. Use whatever in the hell makes you feel like you are on fire and that you can feel the magic in your fingertips. So let's see. She says, one of the greatest spells for getting over fear in my relationship was done to walk the moon, shut up and dance with me. Sing along with the song, definitely. Dance, yes. Feel the energy of the song inside of you. By the end of the song or playlist, you should be full to bursting with energy. And that is so true. So now you've raised the energy, and there are other ways that you can raise it. Meditation is another good way to raise energy. Once you've raised it, what do you do with it? Once you've raised the energy, she says, send it out to do its job. For this is a 2-layer process. Through touch, a wand, athame, or my finger, I direct the energy out of me and into whatever I'm using it to anchor my spell. I usually visualize this as a light pouring out of me and into the anchor until it feels it and bursts out. So you definitely want to direct your energy with at least your finger. Direct it. Where do you want it to go? And then she says, depending on what the action being taken is, I'll perform the action and restate the intention of the spell work. If I'm using a candle, I will then light the candle and state the purpose of the spell. If using a jar, I cap it and state the intention while covering it in wax. This is important as it helps the energy remember what it is you're trying to do. This is also the part where you visualize the outcome of the work. Visualization is so important. I love that she says this here, that you need to involve all 5 senses in this and get as specific as you can. Visualization is its own topic. Yes, it is. But just like stating your intention out loud, this is going to help the energy know what you want. Guys, this is the part in the spell where you're actually doing the magic. Gathering all the shit, beautiful tools, wonderful herbs, beautiful smelling incense, fantastic candles. I'm a pyromaniac, love some candles. Gathering all that stuff, that's not your magic. Good witches can do more with their body and a glass of water and a candle than some witches can do with an entire metaphysical shop full of shit. So it's about raising your energy and directing your energy. That's what casting a spell is. It's not about the crystals. Crystals are beautiful. You don't have to have a crystal to do anything. You don't. All those tools do is help us focus our intent. Yes, they bring in magic. They help us layer our magic, but without raising the energy and directing the energy, there's nothing there. Lighting a candle that's got money signs carved in it, and you dressed it correctly. You've set a spell. You bury it by this beautiful tree. You're doing everything else, but you never raise any energy and you never direct the energy. Nothing's going to manifest. You don't do the visualization, it's not going to manifest. These things are the important things in spell work, the main things. So then she talks about finding balance again, talking about the magical hangover. And I will leave, like I said, I'll leave this link. But the best thing to do, like I told you, is grounding and also meditation. What I like to do if I raise too much energy, which lately I have been still a little struggling with grief. And I have found that I'm having to get back on the horse magically, and it's a little difficult, and I have found myself with a couple of magical hangovers lately. But what I do is go outside and sit my butt on the dirt, normally at nighttime, so I can be by myself, because if I go out there during the day with my daughter, we're playing, not meditating. Not yet, anyway. She'll learn when she's ready, but she's little right now. But I'll sit on the ground with my butt touching the dirt, with something on. I don't do that sky clad. But sit there and meditate. And I'll focus on delivering the energy that I raise back to Mother Earth, and then, filling myself with the energy that I need, no more, no less, and then just getting myself calmed down, and then come in and have a little snack, and then I'm fine. But if you're getting magical hangovers, just be a little more careful on how you raise energy and how much energy you're raising, because raising too much energy is not difficult. It's really not. But like I said earlier, it's best to raise too much than too little, because you want your spells to work. Otherwise, you wouldn't be casting them. But she did talk about visualization, and I would say after 25 years, or 25 years plus in the craft, visualization is so huge. If you can't visualize, you can't set that intention properly. It's not being properly rooted. You need to be able to do that. Use 5 senses. What would it look like if the change occurred? What smells would you smell? Say you're wanting to manifest a new house. What's it going to smell like? Is it going to have that new house smell? Are you going to be in the kitchen baking up some bread, that smells good? You're going to make some, witchy tea and smell the chamomile coming off that. What are you going to do? What does it smell like? What's it going to feel like? What's it going to feel like when you jump in that new pool that you're wanting? What does it feel like? What does it sound like splashing around in that pool? What sounds do you hear in that new home? Use all of those senses. Touch. What does it feel like? Maybe you run your hands over the cold granite or marble countertops. What does that feel like? Use that visualization. Just as important as raising energy. So, definitely important. But that's all I have, and I'll link this. There are more ways to raise energy than the ones that she mentioned, but I do think they're 3 of the best. How many did she have? Did she have 3? She talked about 3 of those. But there are other ways. One way that I like to raise energy is to stand in front of my altar, my actual altar, not my kitchen space, but my main altar, which is dedicated to Hecate now. But I will stand there with my hands, palms facing up, and just do my magical breathing and raise that energy, absorbing some from the universe while creating energy from within and merging those two in, just a magical little ritual that I do to raise energy. I also sometimes will do that outdoors, just barefoot on the ground, and bring the energy up. It's like grounding in reverse. You're drawing in the energy from the earth through your feet. You have to be barefoot for this to work, but you're bringing in the energy from the earth. And don't take too much or you'll get that magical hangover. But if you do, when you finish your spell work, stand back in the same position and ground yourself, and you'll be fine. You can also draw energy outside or raise energy outside by standing palms up and just focusing on bringing in that energy and receiving that energy from outside. You can draw it from the moon, you can draw it from the universe, you can draw it from Mother Nature, Mother Earth, whatever you want to do, just focus on that. Maybe you're drawing it from an element. Maybe you want to draw it from fire, from the south. Then sit with the candle and meditate on raising energy. There's just so many ways. It's more than just these three, but these three are good ones, especially for beginners. So anyway, hope that helped on raising energy. I just found this article, thought it would be cool to share with you, and then add in my 2 cents. And then she's got a little thing on here where you can leave not replies, but leave questions and stuff. So if you have a question for her, you can put it there. If you have a question from me, I have the comments turned off for privacy reasons, but if you want to contact me on Facebook, just DM me and I will help you in any way that I can. I do offer spellcasting services, but I also offer advice free of charge anytime, 24/7. So just give me I don't know what to call it. Hit me up on Facebook. Just send me a DM and I will get back with you. But that's all I have, witches. Like, subscribe, and share. I still have 3 giveaways left, so do what I said in that other video and they will be yours. I have 1 pair of Blessed Be earrings, 1 dark moon necklace, and 1 red moon necklace left. So just contact me and send the required info and those will be yours. So that's all I have, witches.